friends, to the first installment of my new weekly series of fascinating, intriguing, interesting, health-related topics. And we're going to talk about one single health-related topic every Friday. We'll drop a newsletter and have it on this YouTube channel for you to check out. So I hope you enjoy. I'm super excited about it. This has been like the culmination of a lot of effort and energy, and I've been doing health coaching now, and these are topics that come up for people. They've definitely been things I've been exploring, so I hope you find them as interesting as I do. So here we go. This is the first one. Today is on intermittent fasting and basically the power of intermittent fasting. Now, what I'm going to be talking about here, it's going to be very simple, very basic things. I don't want to get into the weeds too deeply. If you want to explore these topics more, certainly you can email me and I can send you links and things like that. But I'm happy to have any kind of conversation you want to about any of these topics because they're endlessly fascinating to me. So, but we keep it simple here. So, and basically, I'm going to, for the most part, be reading what's on the newsletter. So you can either hear me talk about it or you can read the newsletter. It's up to you. A lot of people prefer the video. Some people prefer the reading, so your choice. Anyways, okay, so power of intermittent fasting. This is something I've been doing now for a little while, just I would say the last month, pretty much every day, doing intermittent fasting, and it's been really, it's just part of my general health protocol now. So the power of intermittent fasting. Here we go. So what is intermittent fasting? All right, we always fast when we sleep. Hence the term for the morning meal, right? Breaking the fast. So if we're not eating, by definition, we're fasting. So we're actually intermittently fasting no matter what. But when we talk about intermittent fasting, it means we're consciously thinking about the hours each day that we're eating and then the hours that we're not eating, and we're kind of creating a balance in order to find the healthiest outcomes. And a lot of this is based on scientific research, so it's not just like people making this stuff up. So second question, is it good to fast? All right. As with all things, that depends, of course. The better question is what happens when we don't eat for a period of time. So in the 6 to 8 hours that we're sleeping, this is the time that our cells clear out the waste products generated by a day of activity and energy inputs. So, the mitochondria in the cells, they're like little energy factories, and they're creating energy, making ATP, which is like the currency, the energetic currency of the cells. And but just like any power plant, there's going to be waste products, right? And so those waste products have to be cleared out. And if they're not cleared out, then they become problems. And so like when you hear of like free radicals, antioxidants, which kind of help to get rid of free radicals, that's the stuff that it's actually specifically called reactive oxygen species, but it's basically a waste product of cellular respiration, and it needs to be cleared out. So how does it get cleared out? If we, let's say, don't sleep too much, we eat right before bed, we eat right when we wake up, our body doesn't have a chance to do the deep cleaning that's necessary to that happens when when we're sleeping, when we're not eating, the body is literally repairing itself and getting rid of the waste products that the cells generate, and that takes time. And if you can give it more time, then more of it can get cleaned out, and therefore there's a cleaner environment for your cells to kind of work in. And the thing about it is, if these reactive oxygen species start building up, they can turn in reactive nitrogen compounds, I believe it is, and those can turn on genes like some really pernicious genes, things that are like kind of long-term consequences that cause chronic disease like MS and things like that. So you want to get rid of that stuff, and one way to do that is to give the body space to be able to do that. All right, so if you don't do that, you're eating before bed, after you wake up, really quickly, don't sleep enough. Toxins can build up over time, and after X amount of years, depending on your body and everything else, the potential for disease increases. So, question is, what is the optimal time to fast each day? And again, depends. But typical intermittent fasting regimen is 14 hours of fasting and 10 hours of feeding. In other words, you're eating for 10 hours and you're not eating for 14 hours. Okay, so if you're more ambitious, you can do 16 hours, which is about what I do, 16 hours fasting, 8 hours of feeding. So then your window of eating is 8 hours at that point. And you could even cut it down to less. You can make it 6 hours. You can make it 4 hours. Depends on kind of what kind of therapy or therapeutic, how much, what you're working on, basically. If it's just kind of maintenance, you're feeling pretty good and everything else, maybe just, 14-10 is great. But if you're dealing with some more disease kinds of things that are happening in your body, then you might want to increase the amount of time. Again, all this is dependent upon, your body, your conditions, and in consultation with your doctor too. So if you're doing longer periods of not eating, then the feeding window becomes smaller, and you might only get a couple meals in, which means that you're going to maybe only get, like I said, 2 meals in. So you want to make sure that you get like super good nutritious meals during that time. Okay. So science behind this. I just kind of highlight in the newsletter here one study that is from the University of California in San Diego, and I think it was 2016 maybe it was done. Anyways, they were looking at breast cancer recurrence rates for people that had breast cancer and then recurrence rates, and they found, this is a shocking number, statistically relevant, they say, of people that intermittent fasted 13 hours or less. In other words, they only had a 13-hour or less window of fasting. They had a 36% higher recurrence rate of the breast cancer than those who intermittent fasted longer periods of time. So, and there was also like a much higher all-cause mortality as well, along with those people. So, anyways, that's just one study, and it was an interesting one, I thought. But like, there are many studies about intermittent fasting. You can check out some of them. I can actually put maybe down in the newsletter, I'll put the name of some people that are really into this. You can learn about it. So why is this a pretty great health hack? For one, it's free. It's one of the beauties of this particular thing. It's free. In fact, it's probably cheaper than free because you may spend less money on food. 2, it doesn't require that much effort or willpower. I mean, I say that because you might actually be doing this, or it might only be like an extra hour or 2 that you have to increase of not eating in order to create a legitimate intermittent fasting regimen. So you might be surprised how easy it is. And then the health benefits for the cost and the ease are super powerful, like super high. So it's just one of those things that's pretty excellent. Most excellent, dude. So if you want just one thing to improve your overall health and lifespan, I should say health span. In other words, the amount of time in your life that you're healthy. Right? Intermittent fasting is just one of those things that you might want to consider. So anyways, and if you feel like you would like some help with this, you would like to, do it yourself, but you might be struggling with doing it, that's where like a health coach can help you. Even just one session with a health coach can kind of like help to clear out the obstacles and set you up to take a little more control over this particular aspect of your health or your situation. So if you're interested in that, there's a link in the newsletter for you to sign up for that. That's it. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next week. Okay, bye. Tonight, I hope a star shining